his own channel, he insults people, and I don't necessarily agree with that. But I don't think I don't remember hearing him on a debate. But I hope he doesn't uh, do that on the debate, which this is pretty much the spirit of the channel: is have the discussions, but try not to insult anyone. And then we have Ross, who I have to give him props. Ross has been getting better in his debates. The only thing right now I would criticize of him is that he needs to get the yelling a little bit under control. But other than that, I do have to congratulate Ross on getting better, and I think it comes with the experience. And hats off to you, Ross. And then we have Dustin, which whom I didn't really know before his first debate on MDD. And he's a little bit of a controversial character because a lot of his beliefs are really tied to the Bible. He thinks that everyone is satanic and that kind of thing. And there's also a discriminatory aspect to some of the things he says, which I also hope he doesn't bring today for the debate. That being said, trying not to spoil yourself, can you give us a sneak peek on what you're bringing today, Oz?
Like I always do, I bring a historical argument to the debate. I think that's the argument to make, is it is an historical event. They could argue it's physically impossible or something like that, but to overcome the historical evidence, I think, is impossible to do. And then I could explain why it's physically possible. When I do 1v1 debates like I did with Nathan Thompson, I did a two-pronged argument where I argued for why it was an historical fact and why it was physically possible to do. And because both of those are true, there's no reason to doubt we went to the moon. And most people believe we went to the moon. But
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we got it directly from him, so I'm not going to go around the panel. But what I will go around the panel and ask is, what do we think the hoax side will bring? And I will start on the other side. Billy, give us your thoughts, please.
You said the nope side or hope side?
The hoax side.
Hoax side. Sorry. Well, okay. Dustin is definitely gonna say that we live in a place with the firmament over top of us, and we've never been to outer space, and outer space is fake. Ross is more than likely gonna speculate too, and it's just gonna be mainly them speculating and not bringing any empirical evidence to the table.
All right. Isa, what do you think the hoax side will bring tonight?
I think that the hoax side is going to bring a lot of the stuff that we already know. Religion's going to be part of it. We always hear religion, so there's going to be religious arguments.
Hold on 1 second. Can you please speak up or increase your volume a little bit?
Sure.
That's
Can you hear
much
me?
better. Thank you. Yes, perfectly.
So I would say the arguments, I think it's going to be the same old arguments. When we hear these debates, we know it's always the same old stuff. So I think it's going to be the same religious stuff. You know, there's going to be what I call the scientific language, scientific rhetoric, meaning scientific words are going to be used, but scientific applications are not. You know? So this is an important way that we have to frame it, because scientific words will come out. We're going to hear a lot of scientific words, but they're not going to mean anything in the construct of science. It's going to sound very scientific, but it's not going to be scientific. We are going to hear the religion. We're going to hear some religious arguments. I think we're going to hear, you know, I hope we don't hear ad hominems. If this is the same guy that called Oz a Jew,
Yes,
I think it's the
it's that
same guy
guy.
that did that, which was
What?
completely disgusting. It was completely disgusting and gross. And
Yeah.
and that might come out if Oz says, "Hey, there's a scientific theory," and then he's going to be said, "Oh, it's Carl Sagan, the Jew, is here."
Oh my
But
gosh.
Oz's response that day was like, he was like, "Oh, what's your problem? Are you a Jew?" And he, without hesitation, without any single shred of doubt or even an instant pause, he said yes, and that was glorious.
We have to. Yeah, I hope that doesn't, like, the conspiracy theory is going to come. That's another argument. I think the conspiracy theory will be there. So that's my trinity that we're going to have. We're going to have scientific rhetoric. We're going to have religious rhetoric, and we're going to have conspiracy theory rhetoric. That's the trinity that we're going to hear from the Hoax side.
Thank you very much, Isa. Rodney, what are your thoughts? What will they bring tonight?
I'm going to unashamedly crib from the chat right now, because Adam87, Tyler, they both and Mr. Sir have come up with like some really good points, and I was thinking along the same lines as well. Somebody might say there's no wind on the moon, so how are the flags waving? I've heard that before. Somebody might say or they'll say that the moon landing was green screened, or they might say that it's some kind of what's the underwater bunker or something like all that. Somebody's gonna say that. I can feel it in my bones. It's gonna say, "Uh-oh, we lose Oz."
No, I'm still here.
Okay, somebody's gonna say something about some kind of underwater pool thing. Somebody's gonna say something about green screen. Somebody is gonna have to bring up wind on the moon or the flags don't wave kind of thing. I mean, never mind that the flags are on a pole, vertical and horizontal to kind of splay it out. But why address reality when we're talking? Right? Why talk about reality? It does no good. But yeah, NASA employees are all lying. I see that there too as well. So somebody's gonna say something. There it is. Oz has got it. And I think I hope Ross doesn't get. Oh, Oz, that's great. That's good. I hope Ross doesn't do the whole like audio echo thing. Somebody had brought up that was a tactic that some flat earthers will do to like mess with the timing and arguments and stuff. I hope he doesn't do that again like he did with MC Toon and Globy. That was beyond annoying and super frustrating to watch. I hope that Ross doesn't do the whole bouncing up and down, shooting 3-pointers, hype man kind of thing. I hope he composes himself. But altogether, I think like the hoax side is going to bring a lot of like unsubstantiated, like, well, you see, if you think about it kind of claims. So yeah, thanks to the chat for feeding me some answers there and all that. So yeah, that's what I think is coming.
All right. And Oz, what do you think?
I agree with Rodney, and with that, I'm going to go shill for Matters Now on FTFE, Craig's channel right now. So I'll see you all at the debate and for the after show. So
all
thanks
right.
very much,
Good
Max,
luck.
for hosting
I know you
this.
don't need it, but
Yeah, good luck.
we'll be here waiting for you.
It's probably 11:30, I imagine, with super chats. I
tip
hope
the
it doesn't go too long. Yeah. Tip
Hey.
the atheist fedora hat. I'll see you soon.
Take care. All right. Now, I have
Max,
some.
what about you? What
about me?
What are you expecting to hear from the host?
I am expecting. I think I remember. Dustin Nemos has a website from which he pulls his little memes, which are not memes; they're infographics, guys. And I remember one of his biggest arguments was that he thinks that the exterior panel of the lander is all the insulation they had, and because it was there were some parts that were not matching exactly, and some stuff like that. He thinks that the landers weren't fully insulated. He just thinks that it was that aluminum sheet. But as we know, that's not how you do insulation. That's the most external layer. There are things in the middle, different layers of different materials to attenuate for different stuff. And also, the satanic aspect is obviously going to come into play because they
QAnon.
fake the moon landing to keep you, all
Yeah.
people, all of you satanic and sin worshippers away from God. So I think those are the two things I can predict for tonight.
Yeah, I knew nothing about Dustin Nimos before I saw his name just now, and I looked him up, and all I can find attached to his name is like Q Into the Storm. I guess like some kind of TV thing they did. QAnon, The Search for Q, the Cult of Conspiracy, QAnon. So he seems like he's like really into QAnon stuff, which is fitting for a flat earther, I guess.
Yep, exactly. The whole conspiracy and satanic thing, that's really weird to me.
Yeah.
Because most like if you're an atheist, you don't believe in Satan. So it's a weird thing to go up against, because how do you confront someone who tells you, "Oh, you're a Satan worshiper"? It's like, dude, I don't even worship God. I don't. It's
that kind of thing. Like when somebody wants to like accuse you of being something, I think it's like really like off-putting to just like agree with it and then say, then what? Like somebody, oh Max, you're a Satan worshiper, and then you're like, yeah, I am. Okay, what now?
When I bring my black candle,
and then they like now they have like all of a sudden, you know, okay, you're correct. I'm a Satan worshiper. What of it? Like how does that prove me wrong? Like continue. Where like I find that kind of thing will trip them up from time to time. Some of them might be ready for it, but like most of them probably won't be ready for like you just be like, oh yeah, you're totally right. You're absolutely correct. Now what?
Carlos gives us a little tip that says that even in the 21st century with 1080p or 4K video, Hoaxide will say that India's Chandrayaan-3 was CGI. Yes, they will say that.
Is that because they showed like a computer generated image of like what was happening at the time?
On the descent stage, yes.
Yeah, and like they even if I remember, I didn't watch it live, but if I remember right, it said something like in one of the corners it said, you know, not live or not or recreation or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but they forget that orbital mechanics is a really hard thing, and when you have something, the main craft orbiting the moon, as soon as you let the secondary probe detach from that, it's really hard to have a camera looking at that probe. So they go by instrumental navigation. They don't have to. It's not like a car where you need to look at where you're going. They have the telemetry. They have all the data from a bunch of stuff. They don't fly it like with a joystick. There's not some dude like going, "Oh yeah, I got you. Yes, touchdown."
I'm a mouse and keyboard guy. I'm PCMR, so I'm one of those guys.
Okay, you're banned from the channel now.
Keyboard's cheating, man.
No, not on PC. It's not.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Some things are better. If you're going to play Assassin's Creed with a keyboard and mouse, then you're going to have like the pianist syndrome.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's better things to play, and everyone send a tangent icon in the chat.
There you go. We just some games just get ported poorly to PC, and you have to plug in a controller. It's the way of the world. Yeah.
I'm Gay Station says modern Satanists are 1,000 more in tune with their moral goodness than any Christian ever, and I would tend to agree.
I wanted to actually say something.
Any thoughts?
I wanted to say something too about the Satan element. You know who else doesn't believe in
Speak up,
Satan?
please.
Yeah, you're a little quiet.
You do know who else doesn't believe in Satan? The Jewish people don't. Jewish people don't believe in Satan, which is so bizarre that you have all these Christian people who believe in Satan and Jewish people who don't. So all of those Hebrew prophets, all of those ancient Israelites, they didn't believe in Satan. The people who believe in Satan are Christians. So it's like this weird. It's this weird.
Really?
Impact. Yeah, the only Satan that exists in Judaism is an angel that functions under God. It's not Satan. It's a completely different character. It's an angel.
Oh, okay, I know. Yeah.
If you read the book of Job, it makes a lot more sense.
That's where I went.
Yeah, hang out with God, because Satan is an agent of God. So Satan is not this big demon that's doing bad things. It's basically just working. It's an agent working for God. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
I used to preach when I did preach. I used to preach that Satan has to go to God to get permission to test his saints, and I like that never really clicked until what you just said. Because now I was thinking about the Book of Job, like you said, in context of that, and
and it's so unbelievable because it's so funny. Like, this is the problem when you have two different communities reading this text. The hermeneutics, everything changes in it.
Yeah.
So Christians, and also you have John Milton's Paradise Lost that completely creates the character of Satan. And this is with a Satan that most people believe in the Christian community. They believe in John Milton's Paradise Lost Satan. And not only do they believe in that, they have a fusion with like Pan, you know, with the horns and stuff. They take the Hellenistic Greco-Roman stuff and they use this kind of Israelite kind of character that's an angel that functions under God, that's based off of Babylonian tradition. That's a fusion of Babylonian tradition from many, many years ago, then fuses it with Greek tradition. And then you have English tradition with the John Milton Paradise Lost. And it's all this kind of fusion of cultures. And it's bizarre. And this is what people are believing in. But because I've talked to people, like they said, Satan is going to get you. And it's also a function of Zoroastrianism, of the dualism between Ahura Mazda and Athena.
Somewhere around, some of the conceptions from the Divine Comedy by Dante also made it up in there during the Renaissance. So now we have what we could say pop culture affecting the tradition of the church and making its way directly into basically the lore of a religion, which is a very interesting phenomena. What's the field called?
Field of what?
Mythical analysis. I think it's how myths from different areas affect each other. So it's a very interesting field to study, and that's why I like, for example, making our show, the Tell Me That Story show, shameless promotion, Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Matters Now. That's something I really like, how to see how these archetypes of stories evolve over time, and we get different people retelling the same archetype of story with a different lens. So let's do predictions, and I'll start again with Billy. Predictions for tonight. Who do you think will take the debate?
Well, yeah, I definitely am on the team O's and Craig's team, but I mean, let's see. Hopefully Ross and Dustin will do a better job. I mean, if they do a good job, then it would be nice to see. But if they don't, then that's on them. But I mean, I want to see them try, and hopefully they do a good job. But I know Oz and Craig are going to do a good job, so that's all I know.
All right, Isa, predictions.
I mean, we've seen what Ross and Dustin is going to do. I think Ross is. I agree with you, Max, that Ross has evolved as a debater. I think Ross has done so much better than the last time he debated with Mark Reed. It was just like an
Mhm.
abomination to mankind in that first
Mhm.
debate. The second debate was so much more cordial. I think there are certain reasons why Ross and Leo got along. I have my hypothesis of why that worked a lot better than with Mark Reed. But
They're both
I'm
young.
I'm hoping I'm hoping that Ross I'm hoping that it's going to be, civil, but I don't really have much hope for Dustin Nemos. After I saw what he did, that was so disgusting, and he was just so open about saying that. I think he actually
Oh yeah.
tanked that episode, which was horrible, or they had to like edit that thing out. So I mean,
Yes.
if that comes out, if he says that again, that's an automatic loss, in my opinion. If anti-Semitism comes in, it's a loss for me personally. I don't want to hear anti-Semitism as your argument. You're not going to win with that for me. Um, I think that with these cases, that you have the scientific evidence, you have better rhetoric. I think it's going to be, and I don't think it's this kind of smoke and mirror show. That's what I feel when I see a lot of these flat Earth debates and moon landing. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors and snake oil salesmen, where it's like I know how to say all these fancy words. I learned certain kinds of things that make my rhetoric sound good, and then that's the most impressive thing. So I'm expecting that. I'm not really shocked if that happens. I think it will happen. I'm almost 99.9% sure it will happen. But
All right.
I think Oz and what's the other guy's Flat Earth debunker? I think they're going to take the win.
FTFE.
Fight the
Fight
flat
the
Earth.
flat Earth.
Craig.
Fight-
Craig.
Flat Earth, like the Flat Earth, and Oz are going to win. That's my prediction.
All right. Rodney, take it away.
So I think hands down, Oz and Craig are going to take it. I don't know anything about Dustin, like I said before, but the 3 times that I have seen Ross, he's kind of been a bit of a mess in and of himself. The thing with Globy and MC Toon, I sincerely hope he doesn't do the echo thing again. That was just beyond
Yes,
ignorant.
I saw that.
Yeah. But I think because like I think Oz is going to be a good like point man, and FTFE. I think Craig, because he focuses like 99% of everything he does is focused on debunking flat earth. I mean, fight the flat earth, come on. He's gonna have like a lot more like in-depth and ground level, just like hit and run, home run arguments, and like evidence and more like in-depth knowledge of how to really deconstruct anything they bring up. So Oz is going to be a really good point man. I hope they like develop a dynamic during the debate where Oz is a good point man, and Craig really just kind of brings it home, being the heavy hitter, having a lot more, because Oz doesn't only focus on flat earth. He obviously does a lot more than that. But Craig nearly almost always focuses on flat earth. So I think Craig is going to be a really good like bringing it home kind of guy in this debate. As for Ross and Dustin, I don't think that they're going to have a prayer. I think that a lot of their conjecture that they're very likely going to bring up is going to be soundly put to bed. And like I said, I hope that like somebody said, was Hopper? Yeah, Hopper said hopefully Dustin and Ross show up to actually debate. I do hope that they do show up to debate and not to just like, hype themselves up and be like, man, I got you, I'm pinning you, or be like Witsit, where I'm exposing you right now.
Pull it up.
Like, yeah,
Pull
like
it up!
I hope they like miss the like the hype and rhetoric and just like try to defend their points to the best of their ability. But I don't think the best of their ability is going to be anything close to what Oz and Craig can bring back to them.
I have to say, I'm kind of a big fan. That was a really fun interaction, that pull it up thing, and the way he said it and everything. Yeah, I liked it. I'm sorry. I know it's not sort of debate etiquette, but like unless you go overboard, I kind of
Yeah.
do those kinds of things. I have a hard time being overly serious in everything, so I'll make a joke in passing, and I think that one was kind of fun. It's like, pull it up.
That's another reason I don't debate, because my number one rule on the internet is nothing here should be taken too seriously, because it is the internet.
Yeah, it's a hard for me. Even I'm on the Modern Day Debate Discord, and even when I'm having debates, I kind of will think of a joke as something is happening and say it, and people get the wrong impression that I don't want to debate anymore. It's like, I'm sorry, that's just how my brain works. It's a part of me doing jokes, and I may do inappropriate jokes from time to time. It's what's happened. It's what happens. All right, we're 15 minutes. I'm going to do something that I don't regularly do, but I think it's fun, something we can all explore. Give me just a second, because I fumbled this. I had it ready and I closed it. We're going to take a look, because there's already people waiting on the Modern Day Debate chat room. So we're going to see what's happening. We're going to spy what's happening over there before the debate begins. And just so you know, we regularly have a redirect. So as soon as the debate begins, when we get the notification, this show will go offline and you will be taken to the MDD debate. I'm double checking with everyone on the back end, making sure that we are set up for that correctly. If not, I will post the link, but yes, we will. You should be taken to the debate right after it starts, and we end the show right here. So I'm opening here my window, and we're going to take a sneak peek on what's going on over there.
I was just reading some of the comments.
Yes, then that's why we're already having spice over there, so that's why I wanted to check it out. So share screen.
Shout out to the guy named Swampy Pubes. What a name.
Yes. We love it. All right, I'm going to scroll up a bit and see. Oh, Matters Now. I'm doing a pre-show. Yes, we are right here live right now. Not this pull it up clown again. Come on, don't insult people. I will be moderating in the debate. So if you're here and you're going there, please don't insult people. We had a pretty nice debate yesterday where there were very few insults from the audience, and I gave a congratulations to everyone. Okay, Top Lel says Glowbirth is a fairy tale. Which one was the hoax? Says Moxie. Looking forward to the self-inflicted headache, choosing to listen to flat earther gibberish, says Matthew Beffa. I think I'm going to stop reading the username so we don't make anyone uncomfortable. Star Trek is real, though, says something. Silly Goose says someone else. Looking for... you already read that one. Tell me, how did a fly make it through space and survive the atmosphere to be sitting in the rover? I don't know which fly they mean, but that sounds interesting. We have one message over here because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen. Buzz Aldrin, you are cherry picking this quote, and we've been through this before.
You want to fill in that ellipses at the beginning, like give us the whole paragraph, or do you just want to keep that problem?
That is called quote mining and cherry picking. Thank you. It's like when people take out of context what he told to that little girl. It's like, yeah, that's not the read the whole thing or listen to the whole thing and you realize there is absolutely fake footage. You just refuse to look into it, says someone else. All right. I think the space flights are nasty. This is from the guy that said about the fly in the lander, which I don't really know. All right. So we're going to leave that chat alone for now. And before we get to the timing, I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping. Today, we had an awesome show, the Deep Six show. That's what it's called now. It's Austin and I Kill Girls show, where they watch shorts and they have guests. Today, we had the presence of Ember from Better Than Ember on YouTube, and Ember, lovely person. We had a lot of fun. There were a bunch of laughs. We had some deep reflections, and it was an overall awesome show. I was there too, and Justin and us. We also have, as I said before, this Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Tell Me That Story show. We're going to talk about the book of the 1001 Nights. We're going to do a plot summary and tell our best stories, the stories we like the most from that book. Again, that's Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So far, let me check the back end of matters now, because my short-term memory is insanely bad. I have the attention span of a gnat. So what do we have scheduled for the following days? We have tomorrow, 8 p.m., Oz is doing a show on the climate crisis on the climate crisis. And the tagline for that show is, "This is serious." So if you're interested in this topic, tomorrow, 8 p.m., climate change conversation. And thanks to Earl, who managed to get in contact with Aaron Ra on March 23rd, we're going to have Aaron Ra on our stage for the Deep Six show. Now that I have done all our promotions, Billy, Isa, and we're going to go around the panel. Do you have anything coming up that you would like to tell the interwebs about?
No, I think this time I'm just gonna leave it to someone else. I don't really have anything planned. Just the daily streams I do on Twitch.
All right. If you Billy does speed runs, so Billy_bonks a lot on Twitch if you would like to hang out with Billy. And let's go with Isa. Do you have anything coming up?
Yeah, I do. And I just wanted to thank you today. I didn't get to thank you for your support in my moderation in the debate on Discord. So, you might see me there. I'm a moderator on the Discord of Modern Day Debate. So that's a cool place to hang out. You can see me there. We had a cool debate today about free will versus no free will. It was an interesting conversation. As Max already stated, we are going to stream. We're going to co-host on the Arabian Nights. So that's going to be really cool. Come see us on Wednesday. So that's the major plug for me.
All right. Let me ask you, who won that debate on free will?
It's hard to say. I feel it's very hard when you have a conversation where two people have very different kind of ideas. The idea was you have one that was libertarian free will, and the other was saying that there isn't free will. I don't really know if they completely disagreed if you really went into it. Like, and that was the problem. I think when you have these debates, you kind of need to net out like where you really stand when you're having this conversation. There wasn't like this huge diametrical opposition. So it was kind of confusing. I did like S's arguments in his opening argument, though. I think that was really strong and good. But I definitely think that, or Malik, but I think that Austin did a really good job. And I just would like to see more discussions where we're like on the same kind of wavelength. And I think that's a problem with tonight's debate. We're going to be on a very different wavelength. We're going to have people who
Yeah.
are talking about rationality and people who are talking. Oh, God, it's so
Yeah,
fucking
and
sad.
just
About
just
fiction. We've
just
got
to let you
fiction and
know,
we've got reality.
I got a couple of messages from Whodunit, who is one of the admins of the Modern Day Debate Discord, and it turns out that the bot was on the fritz as I was imagining. So yeah, it wasn't anyone's fault. The bot was just going crazy, but it will get fixed soon.
No problem.
So
Thanks for your help.
the Modern Day Debate Discord, if you don't know, is a really good place to hang out, to have conversations and get your skills worked up, because how do you get better? By practicing. Rodney, anything you have coming up, any on the interwebs?
Well, I do plan on having every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. I have a video coming out on 21 reasons why the flood did not happen. The flood of Noah did not happen. This coming Wednesday will be part number 14. I will be recording some more of that as well, so that I have more to release. I do plan on doing more live streams. I'm going to try and get more live streams in. I just did one with Billy where we looked over a Kyle Adams gross misunderstanding of the way the moon works. We figured out how Kyle does his science experiments. He does them standing on his head, if you're curious. I plan on doing maybe something with flood geology next time, and try and get a couple different people to come on. I really want a geologist of some kind. I've been trying for a very long time to get a geologist on. Hopefully Beamsy will humor me this time. But also I am still like I'm kind of like discovering it as I go, but I'm taking the 4 questions Kent Hovind says every religion, including atheism, tries to answer. I'm taking them way too serious and diving way too deep into them than they deserve. But I'm still on number 1, and I'm still looking like real deep into it, to the 3 facets of the question: who am I and what am I worth? And I've discovered that there's 3 separate questions there: who am I, and who am I? So like each one focuses on a different concept of like self-identity. So I'm working on that, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks I'll have it recorded and out and ready for everybody to digest.
All right. Thank you, Billy. I'm sorry, no, Billy, no, Rodney. I'm sorry, mind fog there for a second. I'm just getting a confirmation that yes, everything should be set up to be redirected right after this show ends to Modern Day Debate, so you don't even have to do anything. We are doing the work for you. After the debate ends, we are going to start our after show. Remember, it's open for everyone. We want flat earthers, we want globers, we want hoaxers, we want moon landing acceptors. We like everyone here on Matters Now, because here your voices matter. Now, Rodney, if you ever want to have me on your show, we can go and have fun. I'm available. Let me know. I like taking apart videos and stuff. A couple of days ago, we were on friend of the show, Jimmy Tux, and we recorded, we went over a video from Useful Charts on the different denominations of atheism. So if you're interested in figuring out what the hell is that, then you can go over to Tux TV and you will see all of us there. It's the last live stream we did. I Kill Girl was there, and then a couple of other friends. Simos Funk, who is a friend of the show, regularly comes on here. So I want to thank Tux TV for having us over there in the channel. I came into the video at the end because it was pretty late and I was having dinner. It was right after one of our streams. So I rushed to get dinner and I could finally reach the end of the show. But it's an interesting video. It's a bit deceiving because it doesn't really talk about denominations of atheism. But if you're interested in finding out more, I won't spoil it for you. Head over to Tux TV and you can watch that video. All right, so we're almost at starting time for the debate. These things usually don't start exactly on time. So now we'll just hang out and let's talk about how's your weeks, how have your weeks been, and anything interesting you have to tell. We're coming up on the end of Black History Month.
Tux TV,
So,
blessed be
Tux.
Robert. Tux
Yes.
TV.
Tux. How was your experience this month with Black History Month, Isa?
It's really good because I do a lot of work in diversity, equity, and inclusion. At my university, doing programming. We're going to do, it's one of my jobs. We're going to do a movie showing of a really cool old movie called The Heritage of the Griot. A griot is an African storyteller about Sunjata Keita, who was the founder and the first king of the Mali Empire. It's really interesting because we're so focused on Eurocentric narratives. We only really know about European history, European mythology. There's a lot of stuff that was going on in Africa. There's a lot of stuff that's going on in Asia. There's a lot of stuff that's going on in South America. There's a lot of stuff that's going on in a lot of places outside of Europe. So I do. I'm like I'm your what do they call it? The $1 million man. I'm the person who just I can run marathons. Like I did judging today. I worked at the hospital last night. I'm running. I'm running from thing to thing. I was moderating today, but I think Black History Month is so important because we need to get out of this Eurocentric mindset that Europe is the greatest continent of all time. Europe has a lot of beautiful, wonderful things to offer us, but it is not the center of the world. And I think that's the problem. We're educated, particularly in the United States, you're educated seeing United States as the greatest thing ever. I'm glad I went to an all-black high school. I read all black literature like Toni Morrison, Zora Neale Hurston, James Baldwin, Richard Wright, Ralph Ellison. People don't even know who these people are, unfortunately, because we're not educated on this kind of literature. But it's necessary and it is important to know this. We need to become multiculturally literate. We have to become multiculturally literate. We can value all cultures, but in order to value all cultures, we got to know about them and we got to learn about them and we got to be able to honor them. And I think that's what's so important about Black History Month is it's saying, hey, there's other cultures that are out there that we may not be aware of. So there you go.
Thank you very much for that wonderful insight. I wholeheartedly agree. And we can learn the same way we learn about America and the US. We can learn a lot about the rest of the world. Anything you would like to say before the debate gets started, either Billy or Rodney? Anything happened in the week? Anything interesting? Or maybe... yes,
I heard
ahead,
a flat earther relate Assassin's Creed is like, he thinks that's like real life. He was like, he brought up Assassin's Creed as I was like, okay, well, I mean, I guess that's like what he believes, but I mean,
Knights Templar.
I thought that was pretty out there.
All right, that's a wild claim. And now I have let's go around the panel. Tyler gives us the next thing before the debate starts. Let's talk about favorite pizza toppings, and I'll take the first one. I like my pizza without mozzarella. I like dough sauce, and then I like ham, like very very finely like chopped ham, bacon, and hard-boiled eggs, like everything chopped and laid over the pizza. Let's do it quick because the debate.
Yeah,
has
they're
started.
starting.
Okay.
Pepperoni and mushroom, done and over.
Excellent. Isa,
Olives.
olives. Billy,
Jalapeno and pepperoni.
excellent. Now we're going to end the stream, send you over to the debate, and we'll see you back here at Matters Now for the after show where your voice matters.